So this is the part of the episode where Chris writes himself a check for $1 million. The moment you've been waiting for, and he can't find a pen.
On this video, we talk about the differentiators that nobody else talks about. There's a question that comes up over and over again from our subscribers, and it's which online broker do you guys use? Which one should I use? And in this episode, we will reveal who we use, why we use them, and who is the best and the worst online broker for us individually, because it might not be the same, right? And who is the best for you? That is all coming on this episode. While not widely publicized, virtually every online broker, if you ask, they have promotions for making deposits in existing accounts. This is different from the new account bonus that you get when opening up a new account. Making deposits inside of existing accounts that range from a few $100s to as high as $10,000, and it changes all the time.
They're trying to overcome the cost of acquiring a new customer or the cost of having a customer use them more.
Remember when we made that big Montclair trade last year? Huge, one of the only high conviction trades we've ever run on the channel. The trade worked out great. I had to put my money inside of Interactive Brokers, which we hate, but I had to do it because it was a foreign trade, and now I'm pulling that money out of Interactive Brokers. I'm trying to figure out who will give me the most money for my $1 million. I already have a commitment of $3,000, which is basically 0.3% from TD Ameritrade. But before I deposit the check, I want to make sure that Schwab can't do better. And I heard that speaking to your individual branch office, they have more leeway to provide more incentive than calling Schwab. We're going the wrong way. So if Schwab offers me more than $3,000, I still probably won't deposit my money with Schwab, but I might go back to Ameritrade and use that as leverage to get more from Ameritrade.
They basically told you to come to a branch to talk to somebody, and then once you got there, they said, well, we're going to have a guy in Chicago call you.
Hey, if
Does that sound efficient
if it
at
makes
all?
me an extra $1,000, it's worth stopping by the branch.
Why couldn't they just do that on the phone? I would have just said, well, can you just transfer me to the branch and let me talk to someone there? Do I need to drive somewhere to give you money? No. Make it convenient for me. I'm the customer. I'm always right.
I just want the money. I don't care.
So now let's go to lunch and talk about brokerages in general, and brokerage apps, and what we use and why.
First of all, we are definitely getting the jalapeno firecrackers. Brisket stuffed jalapenos wrapped in bacon on a bed of fries. Hell yes. Hell yeah. Dave did not want us to do this episode.
But we already did this episode.
Full disclosure, we actually have already filmed this entire episode, and then all the brokerages dropped their commissions to zero, and everything we said was wrong.
And then Dave just wanted us to never do this episode again because
He thinks it's boring?
he thinks it's boring, and also there's so much information about this. Like, what value can we add?
I Googled best brokerage, and there's like so many websites that already compare them and already have all the stats and features.
Yeah, I feel like all you need is a chart.
This chart right here, it's really all you need, this one chart.
Totally disagree. There's only a few things that matter, and the things that matter, nobody talks about. We're going to talk about them today. Doesn't matter that they all have the same commission rate. There are a few meaningful differentiators that will ultimately decide what online broker is best for you.
TD Ameritrade, E-Trade, Schwab, Fidelity, they used to charge a commission, now they don't. I think you can kind of lump those together because they all have research and charts and analysis and decent margin rates.
But there's one thing that you really care about. You care about good UI.
I feel like most of those have good UI.
But you know what you don't want? You don't want Interactive Brokers.
That's a specialty trader. You only use Interactive Broker if you have a special need, such as trading on foreign exchanges.
Our audience didn't know that before, so they might have went with Interactive Brokers not realizing they have the world's worst user interface.
I don't know if anyone's ever accidentally signed up for Interactive Brokers.
Let's just start from the top. If global trading is important to you, meaning if you want to trade stocks that trade on exchanges outside of the US, which I absolutely need to do, there are only two brokers that you can trade through that I'm aware of. One is Interactive Brokers.
Yes.
That's why you might want to go with them. The other is Charles Schwab. The clear differentiation between those two is that Interactive Brokers
Schwab
has
is good and Interactive is bad.
Schwab has a really nice user interface and branch offices where you can get one-on-one service. Interactive Brokers has all kinds of tools for professional, semi-professional traders.
But they don't have advisors.
Yes, but the worst UI out of any online broker. So
It
there
actually
it goes.
doesn't look terrible, but when you actually try to use it, it's...
The usability,
I
the
couldn't even-
usability is
So what do they?
it's horrific.
Do you know what they
It's
charge you
horrific.
for international trading?
I don't even know because they're
Yeah.
all roughly the same.
Right.
But if you want to invest in companies like Montclair, which was our high conviction trade of 2018, you have to have an account with Charles Schwab or Interactive Brokers if you live in the US. I prefer Charles Schwab. I hate trading through Interactive Brokers. I don't like the interface. I just hate everything about it, okay? When you trade stocks on their native exchanges outside the US, you have to exchange US dollars into the foreign currency first. Then you could trade the stock on that specific foreign exchange, whether it's the Milan exchange or, the Bolsa exchange, whatever it happens to be. I love having that flexibility because if I find a small stock that only trades on a foreign exchange, I can't do it through TD Ameritrade. I cannot do it through E-Trade. I can't do it through Robinhood. So I want to have the flexibility to be able to do that. That's why I own a Schwab account. Now, if you don't care about that, now you have to choose between companies like still Schwab and Fidelity, which are the conventional old school discount brokers that are geared towards service. They have a full service offering. Or you can go with the newer school discount brokers like Ameritrade or E-Trade, or you can go with the really new school brokers like Robinhood or Webull. So let's talk about the differentiation there. Why would you go with a Robinhood over an E-Trade or an Ameritrade?
To be honest, I can't even think why you would go with Robinhood now that E-Trade and Ameritrade are 100% free.
Because it's cool.
But are you going to go with something because it's cool?
A lot of people
Yes,
go with things
yes,
because
Brad,
they're cool.
yes.
I do think they have the best interface for simple things. Like if you're just going to trade straight up equities.
Okay, that's a big deal. Simplicity. Robinhood makes it fun and simple. And when you tell someone who you trade through, I hate to say it, I don't care about this, but there are a lot of people out there that don't want to be like, I trade through E-Trade. They'll be like, I'm with Robinhood, because it's like a cultural movement. They started the whole free trade movement.
Stealing from the rich and giving to the
Give to the
poor.
poor, right?
Robin Hood.
It matters to some people that they created this cultural shift.
And right in their app, if you are trading crypto and stocks and you're doing little one-off trades, it's like they've turned stock trading into a video game.
They have their niche. And if that stuff matters to you, if simplicity, trading like a video game, having fun with trading, and being part of a movement matters to you, Robinhood just might be the best place.
And I will tell you one thing that I actually do use Robinhood for is the alerts when stocks that I hold in other brokerage accounts have earnings. The other apps are terrible about telling me when earnings are and actually having a link to listen into the conference
dig
call.
into each one just to find out.
Robinhood's so simple. Now, where does Webull fit in?
Okay, Webull is essentially just like Robinhood, except they offer a lot more research. Webull's really all about charting and research.
They have a robust platform where Robinhood has a
It's a
simplified
simple platform. But that said, that might or might not matter to you.
If you're trying to decide between Robinhood and Webull, the old answer was, well, they're both free. Webull has more information, more like a E-Trade, TD, Schwab type account. But now, I don't really know what the advantage is.
Robinhood, when you open up a new account, they give you one free stock. That value of that stock could be anywhere between a couple dollars and $200. Now, there's a 98% chance that the value will be between $2 and $10. Now, there's a 1% chance that you get a stock valued at between $10 and $50, and there's another 1% chance that you get a stock worth between $50 and $200. That's the Robinhood, sign-up bonus. Ameritrade and E-Trade and Fidelity and Schwab are left. So why would you pick one over the other? All four of those have branch offices. And that's something that's really important to a lot of people. I know not you, Dave.
Not at all important to me. I'd rather not go to a branch and just never have to talk to a person.
I've never been to a TD
I don't want to have to
branch.
call. I don't want to have to call a broker. I don't want to have to visit their office. I just want to be able to just wire money and do it all electronically and be a self-service, self-directed investor.
I actively dodge calls from TD Ameritrade.
You can laugh about having branch offices.
Yeah.
I use mine all the time. Sometimes I'd like to just stop by and fill out a form.
Why would anyone want to stop by and fill out a form? I avoid forms in general. And if there is one, I'm going to do it online and hit submit.
I get that, but it's really about customer service. Now, a lot of people might not need that, but sometimes you want to be able to actually sit down and talk through. I just don't understand how to open up this type of options account. I don't understand what this question is. Now, you can talk to someone over the phone with some of these guys, but with those 4, you can walk into your local branch office, which some people care about. Listen, you might not care about it, but some people care about it.
We walked into one this morning. It was like a ghost town in there, and there was nobody there to talk to, and they told you to, well, we'll have a guy from our Chicago office call you.
That was different because that was a really specialized question that I had about an incentive.
The last time you tried to call this special guy to get some other special
He has
question
answered
you
my
had,
call every time since
and he
then.
was not available.
He's available every time since then. Now,
So in the event of a market crash, or you're trying to like talk to a broker old school, like sell, 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 no, just go online.
let me explain why you're wrong. And,
Okay.
and this is something that's actually really important. To some of us, we care about the worst case scenario. In nearly 30 years of trading, there have been numerous times when, for one reason or another, I could not trade through the online system of my broker. Even though their front end had a glitch or was down for some period of time, I was able to call and get that trade processed through an actual trader. Okay? They have that capacity at Fidelity. They have it at Charles Schwab. They even have it at E-Trade and through Ameritrade. When these systems have gone down, and you could read from reviews, people are completely lost, unable to trade, you're locked out.
Yeah.
Can you even imagine the frustration if you have your life savings or part of it all wrapped up in this little tiny online service, right? That is completely reliant upon one way of trading. So if a branch office is important to you, this is what I'm getting to. If it's important to you, you might want to check, is the closest branch office or the convenient one to you Schwab, Ameritrade, E-Trade, or Fidelity? Because that might make a difference. You might only have a Schwab office in your neighborhood. You might only have a Fidelity office in your neighborhood. And that might be the differentiating factor. Not for Dave, but it might be for you. One other factor that might matter to you, margin rates, okay? Now, the interesting thing about margin rates is my least favorite broker, Interactive Brokers, has the best margin rates by far. But what most people don't realize is that margin rates are negotiable. I was able to negotiate my margin rate with TD Ameritrade all the way down to 1/3 of a point of Interactive Brokers.
So now is this something that you're gonna have to keep messing with? Like, do they keep switching it back?
They haven't yet. They cut my margin rate in half. If margin rate matters to you, I recommend calling your online broker and telling them that you plan to switch your account to Interactive Brokers unless they get close to their margin rate. For me, it worked. They gave me something that was very close to Interactive Brokers' margin rate. If it doesn't and margin rate is still that important to you, you might be forced to use Interactive Brokers.
Or you use Robinhood because they have 5% margin rate, which is just a little bit above Interactive Broker, but they have a glitch in their system that lets you borrow on top of borrowing, and you can have you can leverage unlimited amounts.
That will be fixed. That will be fixed. in
Maybe
time.
they haven't fixed it. They've been talking about it for weeks now, and to me, it seems more like a feature and that's a part of their sign-up bonus. Is you can put $4,000 in, leverage it up to $7 million, and then if you make a good trade, cash out and take the money. If you make a bad trade, they're going to eat it as a marketing cost right now, apparently, because they haven't fixed it. They have a responsibility to keep you safe as an investor and not allow you to get into this crazy leverage situation. There's a huge debate as to whether or not they'll even try to go after people, because then they could be countersued for.
Right. So that actually really bothers me that they introduced some bug into their system that you can leverage 1,000x.
It's giving them a lot of free publicity.
A lot of free marketing. Mark my words, something else really unusual is going to happen at Robinhood in the next year. That said, before we get into who we trade with, we are all investors in Robinhood. I don't trade with Robinhood, but I own Robinhood as an investor. So do you, so do you. So we wish them the best. All the conventional check boxes that most of the other broker reviews rely on, that stuff really doesn't matter. It's probably going to come down to one thing.
And it comes down to deciding what it is that you need in a broker and finding the one that kind of fits those boxes, because there's very few things that are different.
So speaking of that, who do you use? Like, Jordan, who do you use and why?
So yeah, I use TD Ameritrade, mainly because I've been using it for a long time. Been with them for like 10 years now, and they were the lowest fee at the time. And so that's why I went with them, and so I've just kind of stuck it out. Yeah. And now I'm getting the benefit of the 0 fee commission on trades. Their interface is good enough. I think it's a little glitchy. I have to restart the app probably 2 or 3 times a day. They got several different apps. The main app is the buggier of the two, I think. The Thinkorswim one's better.
And who do you use?
I trade with TD for convenience. Listen, I traded with Scottrade forever. I had a lot of issues with Scottrade, but again, for convenience, I just stuck with them. Now I'm with TD. They have an office close to my house. It's nice. I do like how they take care of me when it comes to cash deposits, like the one I'm potentially going to make today, in terms of rewarding me for my loyalty. I think that's a big bonus with TD. And I like the customer service. I have a designated guy. His name is Joe. He's fantastic. You know, not everybody can get a designated guy, but if you end up being as successful as we've been lucky to be over the past couple decades, eventually you'll get a designated guy.
At some of these places, if you pay a higher rate, you get a dedicated guy. Even these robo-trading places, if you pay a higher rate, you get a person to talk to.
Beyond TD, I also need to trade globally. So I use Schwab. I don't like Schwab as much as TD. Just in terms of, I'm just used to the TD user interface. Also, Schwab isn't as, you know, they're not as generous with their cash offers. But I do use Schwab for my global trading because I really dislike the Interactive Brokers interface. TD for US trades and Schwab for international trades. By the way, Schwab also has an office close to my house.
And for me, I have offices at every brokerage that I have an account with, but I've never been in one of them. I have an account with TD, I have an account with E-Trade, I have an account with Robinhood, I have an account with Schwab, I have an account with Bank of America Trading, which is Merrill. I basically move money around based on who has the best offer at the time, and I have no loyalty to any of them because they literally are all the same. The only reason I have TD is you were using TD, and there was some bonus promotional offer.
That got you in, right?
That got me in. I think you made some money off of that too.
You know what's funny? If any other YouTuber did an episode on this subject, they would be giving out like affiliate links to try to make money off their subscribers. Yeah. We don't do that. We don't care who you sign up with. Sign up on your own will. We don't want to make money off of you. We're just telling you our unbiased opinions on how to help you choose the right broker for you.
So I think we figured it out. We know exactly which broker everyone needs, right?
And it's different for everyone.
And now we're waiting for a call from Schwab to figure out what the offer there is, and then you decide between TD and Schwab for your $1 million deposit.
I'll be making that decision in the next 20 minutes, so he better call quick.
Charles Schwab, this is Jason.
I am transferring $1 million, and I'm really just curious what you guys are doing.
We can typically match what our competitors have.
I appreciate, you know, your willingness to match. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but I'll get back with you, you know, if I end up taking up on that offer.
So now that you've heard back from Charles Schwab and they're willing to meet the offer that TD had, what are you going to do with your money?
Sticking with TD because
TD.
95% of my trading is in domestic stocks, not global.
I think that's the right choice. Like if you're not getting anything better, why split your funds?
It's been a rough month trading. Maybe the roughest month I've ever had, and it's nice to get some free money. Could not have come at a better time. Never turn down free money. And there have been times in the past where we as a group have received individually as much as $10,000
Yes.
for making a transfer. Now I know most people don't have that kind of money to transfer, but proportionately it has the same impact on their account. You're getting, in some cases, close to 0.5% on your money for free. Who wouldn't take that?
I'm a big fan of that. I do it all the time.
For me, one of the biggest takeaways is do not rely on what you find online, Googling cash deposit offers for online brokers. You need to call your online broker, you need to talk to them and see if they will do better, because often they keep the best offers for those that often they do not want their best offers out there for the public to see. They don't want people gaming the system, but they are able to get more aggressive when you ask.
So that's going to do it for this week's Dumb Money. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you guys so much for all of the comments that you've put down below. We read them all. We respond to, I think, 100% of them.
We are working on one of the best episodes I think we've ever done. I don't know if we can get it out next week, but it's coming out soon.
I think it's going to be a multi-parter, and it's going to take some time to put together.
If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. You do not
This
want
is
to
the
miss
time to
this one.
subscribe and hit the bell to get notified. This is going to be big. Anything to add, Jordan?
I'm looking up Chris Camillo on the internet. It says you're 37 years old.
Yes! Yes, that's right.
That is correct.
And here's the thing, you think it's crazy that I'm writing a check instead of doing this online, but I can't send a wire like that without going to my bank anyway, so it's just as easy to write a check. OMG.
You drove us all over town, and you don't even have a check on you?
I brought a deposit slip. This is like our big closing sequence. I'm back at Ameritrade, this time with an actual check and not just a deposit slip, to earn my $3,000 deposit bonus.